This is Team 12's presentation. We're doing it on medical drug containment. Our team members include Stephen Fertel, Caleb Safranik, Jacob Carnes, and Joseph Santiano. First off, we started with our needs statement here. We have a way to improve medication packaging so that elderly patients and patients with arthritis can open the medication without issues. We were thinking that this needs statement would be more catable than a fair number of our other ones. We went through a few other options, such as ways of storing medical supplies at hospitals, as well as maybe altering the toothpaste containers to be better at extracting toothpaste. But in the end, we ended up settling on this one because we figured it had a good balance of catability as well as a need space that would be more prevalent than some of the others. Now, moving on to our topic area, we have complex motion required to open pill bottles is difficult for those with hand mobility issues. So generally people with like carpal tunnel or arthritis or some sort of wrist pain, we found that it would be difficult for them to open a lot of pill capsules as they currently are. They might either need to opt for other solutions, which we'll get into later. So we're trying to create a device here that'll either be an alternative method for them to opening these containers, or even maybe just the container will be built entirely different, uh, again, for the purposes of easing them into it. Into the current solution landscape, there are already methods of just packaging pills differently, which can include blister packaging, so surrounding the pills and just some tinfoil coatings instead of using a pill bottle. But it can be difficult to open still, as you kind of have to press into the force, and sometimes it doesn't always like break open easily. So another solution is alternative pill bottle caps, just literally creating a pill bottle cap that's easier to open, something that can twist easy, something that can pop easy. Um, but you do have to take into consideration how you're going to make these child resistant so that you don't have other issues arise. Or on a more expensive end, you could go with pill dispensers. These ones can tend to be pretty high end. They aren't necessarily needed in all households, but that solution does exist as an option. But you might still need someone to open the pills and put it in the dispenser anyways. So moving on. We did have some other current solution landscapes. These ones were, I feel like, more specifically targeted towards arthritic people or individuals that have difficulty opening these pill bottles. We have the RX cap opener, which is kind of like a crowbar that you can sort of like put on and pry open the cap with. It works so that it has a pretty good grip on the cap, and you can still like put pressure on the top and even twist it a bit. And then we also have the MediGrip cap opener. This was a pretty cheap solution, but it does exist. It has like a little magnifying glass on the top, and you can sort of just slot it over most pill caps, and then it kind of expands the grip area that you have to work with, which might make it easier for some patients. And here's our concept map. We have supplemental devices, which would be like a secondary tool, like we saw earlier with the MediGrip or the RX bottle cap opener, something on the side that you can bring in and open the bottle with. Similarly, we have gloves here, something wearable that the patient could use that would alleviate the wrist pain associated with opening the pharmaceutical device. And then we have improved pill bottle caps. So this would just be finding like a gap point where we could maybe improve the design of the cap so that it's easier to open and use, but while still maintaining child safety guidelines. And then again, we have pill dispensers here. Not going to talk about those too much. Just some sort of electronic device or similar in nature that would dispense pills after someone had already put them inside of them. And then we have the alternate pill packaging methods, which would be actually like changing the physical structure of where the pills are stored. Again, this could be like the blister packaging mentioned earlier, but you do have to keep in mind that when you are changing the associated structure of the pill bottles, you have to maintain FDA guidelines. This is our market analysis. I don't have the time to go over it in great depth, but you can see that we found a gap around the $20 to $60 range with a high efficacy. There tends to be very cheap options and pretty expensive options in the automatic pill dispenser, but nothing in that sort of middle range. Moving on for the CAD model. The current sort of design is a relatively simplistic twist cap that you can like turn and get the tab of it lined up to the right spot, and then you can just pop it open with the lever on the side. This tends to be a bit easier to open than some of like the more hardy like push on both sides and twist. However, it isn't the most childproof by comparison. So you do have to keep in mind the sort of restrictions there. Here's a better view of it. You can see that there's that little sort of like tab on the interior of it that lines up with a twisted portion of that. And then you can press it down and get it open that way. So the advantages of design, I mean, it's scalable, it's simple parts, simple design, and relatively like mass producible. It's what's currently used and things. But the disadvantages is it's relatively easy to open if not rotated. And there are more like sort of child-proof designs, but they can tend to be more expensive or a bit finicky at times. And this can also be broken pretty easily just due to the small nature of its parts. Okay, thanks for joining for the presentation. See ya!